Welcome to this video, guys. Today we're going to take a look at drum editing. Drum editing can be a painstaking task, but fortunately Pro Tools has a tool called Beat Detective, and I'm going to show you how I use it. Now let's look at the different parameters and settings on Beat Detective. The first tab is bar, beat marker generation. This is where you tell Beat Detective on what it should work on. So when you mark a region, it will tell you the start bar and the end bar. It will also tell you the time signature, but you need to verify that by yourself. Then you have to tell it if it contains quarter notes, 8 notes, 16th notes, or 32 notes. Also, you need to tell it if it's looking at triplets or not. You use the capture selection button to capture the part you want to work with. The tap and BB button is used when your song is not in the tempo of the session. Then we have the analysis settings. You can choose between high emphasis, low emphasis, and enhanced resolution. Then you select the sensitivity, which is a threshold for your tracks. Then you'll select the resolution, bars, beats, or subbeats. And you can select if you like to show trigger time. Then we go to the next tab, Groove Template Extraction. Here you can extract the groove that is played in your selection, but this is honestly something I never use. Then we're in the Clip Separation tab. This is where you separate your markers, and it's important to use the trigger pad. This is so you don't cut your transient. Your transients will still be placed at the correct position, but the actual cut will be made before it. You select how many milliseconds before the actual transition the cut will be made. Next tab is Clip Conform. Here you can select the strength you want in your correction. And you can exclude within percentage. So if it's close enough to the beat, it won't move it. And if you like some swing to the groove, you can add that here. And you can select if it's based on 8 notes or 16 notes. And the last tab is Edit Smoothing. This is where you fill your gaps or fill your gaps and crossfade them. If you select fill gaps, it will only fill them. If you select fill and crossfade, it will make a crossfade at every cut. And you can select the crossfade length. And that's it for the settings. Okay, so here I have my consolidated drum tracks. The first thing I'll do is I'll make a group of all the tracks. Let's call it drums all. The next thing I'll do is that I'll make a copy down to the playlist like this. And then I'll make a group of the tracks I'll use to analyze. Let's take kick, snare, all the toms, and the overhead. Let's group that. Let's call it Analyze. The next thing I'll do is that I separate the consolidated tracks where I need to. In this case, I have some different time signatures, so I'll divide them. First up is this one. That's all of them. Then I select my Analyze group. I mark the ones I want to analyze and open Beat Detective. Let's zoom in here and capture selection, 16th note, analyze. This button will turn gray when it's finished analyzing. Let's zoom in and see if we have all the hits. Okay, this looks okay. Don't worry about if it's been wrong. That's why we have the alternative playlist. Now let's select the whole group with all the drums. Clip separation. Trigger pad is important so you don't cut any transients. I'll select 5 milliseconds. And then I hit separate. Then I go to Clip Conform. I select 100% on strength. You could turn it off. If you want something lower, you could turn it on and select it here. And I click Conform. And then I go to Edit Smoothing. I select Fill Gaps. I don't like to fill and crossfade because I like to do the crossfade afterwards. So let's smooth it out. And let's take a listen. Okay, it went south at the end here. Then I'll select drums all, open it up, Now take up the original playlist and I'll manually edit this. And you can hear there are some artifacts on the cymbals. This is because the drums need to be played tighter. But in this situation, I'm using a trigger pad. So normally I wouldn't edit the kick in the same go as the rest of the kit. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm doing just that. Then I'll go to the next section. This section is 6/8. So I'll select the Analyze group, select the clips, open Beat Detective, hit 6/8, capture selection, and analyze. When it's done analyzing, I'll go to the full group with all the tracks, select them, clip separate with a 5 millisecond trigger pad, and then I go to clip conform 100% and conform it. Then again, edit smoothing, fill gaps, and smooth. Let's listen. Okay, so there's a fill here. Normally I don't want to use Beat Detective on the fills. So go back here to the alternative playlist, select it, pull it up, and manually edit if needed. Okay, so that's okay. And then again, the next section, let's select the Analyzer group, select it, open Beat Detective, capture selection, and this is 4/4, and it's 4/4 down here. Analyze it. You could go in and look if everything looks okay. But as you know, if something went wrong, you can just use the alternative playlist. Then I go into the drums all again, select it, clip separate, 5 millisecond pad, separate. Clip conform, 100%, conform. Edit smoothing, fill gaps, smooth. So when you're done using Beat Detective on all the parts, you need to go into where you separated your track and make sure that the transition is fine. And if everything is okay, you just select the whole range, crossfade it, and consolidate it. And then you're done. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos. Thank you.